Hey team, Jen here. We are getting ready to kick off week 4 in our courses. So I'm making this video to check in with you to see how your term is going so far and to also offer you some insights into ways that you can make week 4 really successful in your courses. The first tip that I have for you this week is for you to see what I see when I log into your courses. I use 2 platforms in your courses that are really useful. I also use these in my own course in order to see my own performance and to evaluate my performance and students' performance as well. Um, you can view the full grade center by clicking on your grading tab in the left-hand menu in your Blackboard course. You can click on an area called View Full Grading Center. By viewing the full grading center, you can see the whole spread of when you've graded items, what students have not yet submitted work, which students are in the red, which are in the yellow. It's just a great spread. It gives you a quick sense of how grading is going so far in your course. You can also run a grading report. There's a little browser at the very top of this full grading center screen where you can run, you can show your grading report. And in that, this is what I use when I evaluate you. You can see the comments that you've left for students in the grade book. It gives you a quick sense of your grading style, and it gives you a chance to kind of look at your grading style objectively in a way that can be very useful for your own assessment of your work. The second tool that I urge you to take a look at this week is your performance dashboard. Your performance dashboard gives you access to every post that you and students have made in the discussion forums. This is a great way for you to assess your approach to the discussion forums. Simply find your name at the top, click on the hyperlink, the blue hyperlink that has, it's a number, it'll tell you the number of posts that you've done. And you can just take a quick look overview of the kind of posts that you've contributed in the discussion forum. Try to be objective about it as much as you can. Evaluate it. Are your responses focused on promoting critical thinking? Are they really inspiring students? Are they bringing new and interesting tidbits to the conversation? Or, on the other hand, are you doing some kind of grading or judgment of their posts in the discussion forum that might be better saved for your gradebook comment? So it's a great way for you to evaluate yourself in the way that I'm evaluating you. So I just wanted to give you a couple insights about how I take a peek into your course and that you can use this too as a way to self-assess along the way. Self-reflection is a wonderful thing, and I encourage all of us to constantly engage in self-evaluation. It's how we grow as instructors. The next tip that I'd like to give you for this week is to, what was I going to say? Oh, yes. Now is a good time for you to start talking to your students about your grading techniques in Turnitin. Turnitin is a platform that we use to grade student papers. It helps us to see whether or not the paper has been plagiarized to a large extent. And it also has so many valuable tools. I really want to see each and every one of you utilizing Turnitin every time there's a Turnitin deliverable by offering textual or marginal comments, end comments, rubric comments, and even voice comments. I want to see many of you starting to utilize this. Almost all of us in this course are not utilizing Turnitin, and that alarms me very much because I do score you on how you use Turnitin. My guess is that many of us don't really know how to use Turnitin. For example, are you aware that you can create comments that you make yourself that you can use over and over again in student work? I sometimes write paragraph long comments that I only have to write once. I save it to the Turnitin database and I can use it whenever I have I want to make these kind of comments in student work. It saves me a lot of time and it gives students really in-depth feedback. Now, what I want to see in Turnitin is I want to see textual comments right there in the margin, right there on the manuscript. I want to see end comments provided at the end with a numerical sense of how the student meets the criteria according to the rubric, and I would love to see some voice commenting. Now, this is how I do it. The marginal comments for me, I tell students that their first 2 Turnitin deliverables are heavily scrutinized. There's a lot of commenting going on. Every response paper after that has minimal work. I expect that they're going to be able to understand what I mean when I say paragraph development or develop your line of inquiry or your context needs to be more specific. I think that by that point, after the first 2 deliverables, they should start to gain a sense about what I mean. So my comments get sparser and sparser as the term goes along. I let students know this right in the beginning. My voice comments synthesize my marginal comments. Now, in my voice comments, I point to one key strength of the essay that I want to see played out again and again. And I also point my finger at one area that I really want to see improvement in the next round of deliverables. So that's how I use my voice comment. My end comment really highlights the language of the rubric. So here I engage the rubric, and I also include a numerical breakdown of their score. It does not really take me that long. The more you get into the swing of it, the easier it's going to be for you. However you want to utilize that Turnitin, utilize it in your own way, but please do use it. It is so great for students, and it's great for you to just expand the tools that you can use for evaluating student work. Encourage your students to go back into Turnitin. I tell them, I see when you check my comments and Turnitin. If you have not looked at my comments and Turnitin, I will not grade your next deliverable until you have done so. So I make it essential that students have to go back and read my comments thoroughly so that they're not making the same mistakes over and again. Please make sure that you're telling your students, I am going to start using Turnitin. I want to see that you're going in. When you log back in to the Turnitin platform, you can see it tells you what students have looked at your feedback and which haven't. There's a little check mark icon right next to their name. So you can see this. I encourage you to do that. In fact, why don't we have a conversation about Turnitin in the discussion forums this week? Go ahead and pose any questions or concerns that you have. If you're not using Turnitin, why don't you tell us why? Maybe you don't like the features that it offers. Maybe you're not sure how to use them. Maybe you really think it's going to take more time than you'd like to give to grading deliverables. Let's open up a conversation about Turnitin. Who's going to get it started? I'll see you there.